Oh, well,
it's definitely quite a
thanks.
bit of
Thanks for throwing me overboard. When you were talking about CBD and stuff in Colorado, did you want to talk about that briefly?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're actually more versed than I am, because living in Texas where marijuana is illegal, there's no capacity to really, deal with that legally as a massage therapist. So, what's the controversy with CBD specifically in Colorado as regards massage?
So, as far as cannabis goes, it's technically considered a narcotic. It's a controlled substance. So what a lot of massage therapists talk about is whether or not massage therapists can apply cannabis-related products, because they would technically be administering medication to clients, and that is, according to them, totally outside of our scope of practice.
Okay.
And when it comes down to it, what the argument really is about is whether or not we as therapists can ethically do that or not. And then a couple of people were talking about it earlier as far as cannabis and THC goes itself. Some people would say that it diminishes your ability to feel pain. And in general, they would say that that's ethically wrong for a therapist to work on someone when they're in that kind of state.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm wondering is, I don't know a huge amount about CBD. CBD does not, as far as my understanding, CBD does not alter your consciousness in any way. It's not an intoxicant, I guess.
It's not psychoactive.
But they're using it because it reduces pain. Does it reduce inflammation? Do you know?
Yeah, so there's studies out there that show that it reduces inflammation.
Okay.
But if you go onto a massage forum and you talk about that, what a lot of these therapists are asking then is, how can you study whether or not CBD is even effective, or if it's just the manual therapy that's doing it? So even beyond ethical dilemmas, a lot of therapists talk about whether it's even a scientifically viable option or effective option to utilize. But then if that's the case, then why do we use, aromatherapy? How do we know it's the aromatherapy affecting our clients and not just the touch itself?
See, when I hear aromatherapy, at least in massage therapist circles, I don't really think of the massage therapist as using certain essential oils for specific conditions. I think of it as it just makes the room smell nice, or peppermint is invigorating, or lavender is soothing, but I guess people do bring a greater degree of specificity to what they're doing there. The argument about CBD is interesting to me, because it's as a massage therapist, can you not apply Tiger Balm?
That's
or
my line of thinking.
Arnica, or
because the thing is, if cannabis was never illegal at all, this would not be a dilemma whatsoever.
Okay.
But federally, CBD in itself is illegal. It's legal on every state level, but federally it's illegal.
Okay.
Just how cannabis itself is legal in Colorado, but federally it's still illegal. So legally, the FBI can actually, or the DEA can actually come into Colorado, go into a dispensary, and arrest the people who are running a dispensary because it's still federally illegal.
Federally illegal. Okay. Interesting. So we essentially have to wait for the federal government to make marijuana and CBD legal across the board to get rid of that. And then beyond that, then we have to deal with whether massage therapists are able to apply essentially what's a medicine.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the thing is, you can't buy CBD over the counter, can you? It's not like Advil.
Yeah.
You can buy it over the counter. Okay, but that's because it has no psychoactive substances in it.
So in Colorado, I think you can still go into a pharmacy or something and get CBD oil in itself, but then as well as you can go into a dispensary and get CBD oil as well.
Okay.
There's probably stores right here in Texas that sell CBD products.
All right. Yeah, I don't know as much about it. I haven't done much research. Generally, as a Texan, you avoid things that put you in prison forever. That's my general stance. This is legal. The reason I can purchase this is because I can go down to the grocery store and they allow me to drink beer, and I can drink beer on camera. It's I don't want to go to prison. And then I don't have a tendency in my practice with body work to use a lot of I mean, occasionally I'll use a diffuser and put some lavender oil in it just to soothe things. It just smells nice to me. It gets rid of, like, our studio is right next to my kitchen, so it gets rid of any lingering smell from food if I was cooking something. But at the same time, I don't tend to apply a lot of, like, herbal poultices or stuff that you'd normally see in Thai massage, herbal bundles. I'm not against it. I just don't know as much about it, and it's like, I don't know what lemon balm does. I don't know what... I'm trying to think of the other herbs that are commonly used. So, for instance, I know that Landon told me that in Thailand they were using kratom. And kratom recently, was kratom made illegal as well?
It was for a moment.
Okay.
But not anymore.
So they removed it from the schedule from the DEA. Like, they didn't schedule it or something?
So I think that they were trying to put it on there, and it was, like, just about to be there, but then they pulled out.
They pulled, okay. Second. Yeah, so, like, kratom is something that I've never taken before, but I've heard. I had somebody give me capsules one time, and I just kind of tossed them because I forgot them in my car, and they sat there for a couple weeks. But they were actually getting ready to schedule kratom, and apparently sometimes it's used in herbal bundles, and it has, like, a numbing sensation, I'm told. Yeah.
So kratom's an opioid. It's a very mild opioid.
Okay.
Frequently in the United States, it's used to... combat addiction to stronger opiates or opioids.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So yeah, massage therapists, if you decide to embrace the entrepreneurial spirit, get a lawyer. Because you have to find out exactly what the law says and how to work with that, because you don't want to get any kind of legal trouble because of your practice.
So I will add that there is a very popular place called Mile High Massage in Denver that they are offering cannabis infused massages, and they are getting away with it, and it's very popular, and it is, like, working. But the thing is, there's so much talk about whether or not we can that is starting to kind of gain some momentum.
Okay.
And people are starting to look into it. So whether or not we'll be able to do that in the future is still up in the air at the moment.
Yeah. Interesting.
But, I mean, whether or not I'm able to do that, still working with that portion of the marketplace and that population in Colorado is an awesome avenue. Because whether or not I can use CBD, Thai massage in itself goes great with those kinds of treatments, and people are using cannabis as medicine. Thai massage is an amazing adjunct to that.
Cool.
Because if people are going into these dispensaries for pain relief, and many of them actually are, a lot of people think that Denver is just full of people who are just getting high. But that's not it. Realistically, people are actually using it as medicine. And if they're coming into these dispensaries for that, why not show them a new kind of adjunct to that?
Yeah. Well, we had a marketing conversation in the Phase 2 class we were taking today with Jeremiah, because we had discussed this the night before, and it was how to essentially spearhead a new sort of niche market within the marijuana community amongst dispensaries, network with dispensaries, because they're helping people with pain. I mean, people are going in and getting ganja in various forms, various strains, because they have chronic pain. But then our massage therapists like setting up, doing chair massage or setting up a mat. And I don't know the legality. We had conversations because Texas is a totally different jurisdiction. But, it's a really interesting networking component, because I was telling him, like, listen, if you go to these dispensaries and smoke, go to a dispensary, review 2 or 3 of their strains, make Instagram photos, hashtag for people in Denver, become the go-to, like, pot therapist for massage and Thai massage in Denver, so that when people are coming in for, like, basically ganja tourism, he's the guy to see. And that's an amazing, like, niche market, because people who are coming into the area would want to talk to someone who actually knows, oh no, go to this dispensary, go to that dispensary. They have a broader selection, strains that you might prefer. I just think it's an interesting niche market that I never considered, because again, here in Texas, you can't really do that. It's not legal.
Yeah, and something that I've been thinking about a lot is, what kind of marketplace do I want to enter, and what kind of clients do I want to attract, and what existing group of people do I want to kind of go into and involve myself with.
Yeah.
And, I could go to yoga people, I could go to fitness people, I could go to, outdoors people.
Yeah.
But what's the one thing in Colorado and in Denver that connects all those people across the board? Cannabis.
Listen, if it was legal in Texas, here in Austin, I can't imagine being able to draw clients who like ganja, have disposable income and can travel, and then like fly into town periodically just to partake of whatever is local. That's an amazing kind of niche market that I'd never considered when we had the conversation.
Yeah, not only that, but like a lot of those people are the people I want to work with. Those are the kinds of clients that I want in my practice. There's a certain kind of openness to someone who openly smokes cannabis. Generally,
Does it have a different vibe?
I mean, people are people across the board, but
the thing is, I don't know. So it's like right now, if I toured, Austin and polled people who smokes marijuana and who doesn't, I don't know, like if I could tell in a way.
Yeah, you could.
Sometimes it'd be like people who are totally straight laced that you'd never think, and other times it's like, oh, people look at me, I have long hair, they're like, of course he smokes weed.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, I don't remember the last time. It's like it just depends. So, you get a certain sort of like openness. They're more maybe adventurous. Is that it? They try new things.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. At least to be able to openly speak about use of cannabis, because even though it's still legal, there is a sense of that, it's a drug and it was once something that was taboo.
Oh, okay.
So it takes a certain amount of openness to be able to utilize it and openly speak about it.
Yeah.
And then it creates a community of people. All of my friends growing up were all potheads. It was something that brought us together and allowed us to open up with one another and communicate and express ourselves and explore the possibilities of our minds. And it takes a certain willingness to be able to look at yourself when you smoke cannabis or do anything that alters your mind.
Yeah.
And oftentimes a lot of my clients will come to me after smoking cannabis, and there is like a different feel to the session. There is kind of a more openness and a more expression and more kind of willingness to open up and let go.
Interesting. Yeah. It's not something I've ever really dealt with, except being a therapist and occasionally having someone who in session would open up about the fact that they smoke for pain. Or occasionally someone I'm in the middle of working on them and they mention that they smoke just before the session. And they'll ask me like, is that all right? And I don't really feel like I was trained in school to know, like, I assume, I think it's fine. I just communicate with them as we go if it's too much pressure. But I had no reason to assume I had to stop the session.
Yeah.
But I also had no reason to assume that anything I was doing was going to be dangerous because they were somehow, stoned or altered or whatever. It's like, and there's also degrees. It's like, I've never turned a client away for drinking, although I think I've worked on a couple clients who might have had a drink beforehand or whatever. But I've also never worked on anyone who just had a fifth of whiskey before the session. So, moderation in all things.
Yeah, and I mean, and therapists talk about whether or not it's ethical to work with someone who's under the influence, but I mean, I used to work at a vineyard when people at these wine gatherings and these wine tastings, was that unethical if people, had a couple of glasses of wine? A lot of spas offer
wine
champagne
and massage,
wine.
ganja and massage, wine and ganja and massage. It all sounds like a good life to me, but, my mileage is different, so.
I mean, what it comes down to is well, first of all, does cannabis actually impair people's ability to feel pain? And I don't think so. I don't think there's science to support that. I think, and if you ask people if cannabis reduces their pain, a lot of people will say no, it just kind of makes me feel different about it. Like they kind of forget about it or don't notice it as much. In my mind, I think cannabis makes people more aware of their bodies. In my experience, that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're in Colorado, you just need to do a little bit of research about the laws. And if you're in Colorado watching this, you can write down below on the video and let us know, because I certainly know less than he does. And I'm sure there are other people who are having to deal with this legal stuff in Colorado. And then also, I guess, in bordering states, because, legal pot from Colorado is probably seeping out across borders. And it causing all sorts of issues legally for people.
Yeah, and like I said, whether or not I can use cannabis products with people, that's still an awesome marketplace to tap into, is people using cannabis.
Yeah, I think if somebody's into herb and you're taking bud shots and like making short videos, you're sampling whatever goods and wares, edibles, whatever's available. I think doing simple reviews is like a really, really great way to draw attention. If you find local herb periodicals or magazines in the Denver area, you may be able to write like short little snippets for their organization to be able to get more exposure. In other words, you're not just linking yourself with the dispensaries. You're linking yourself now with a pot magazine. I don't know what those are. I'm sure they exist.
High Times.
Or whatever it is. High Times or whatever local stuff exists in the Colorado area because people are interested in talking about the issues related to herb in Colorado.
Yeah, not only that, but there's a number of businesses specifically making like massage bombs and like CBD bombs for massage.
And it's a perfect way for you to basically, for free, sit down with some of these individuals and be able to make a quick review of their balm or whatever it is. And you're making a short minute-long ad basically for the company.
Yeah.
But how does the company feel about you advertising them? Awesome.
Yeah.
I posted a video today, and it was on Instagram from our class, and someone came in and said, "Hey, where do you get one of those mats?" And I immediately went and I linked the company. They only had like 13 followers. They have an Instagram profile, but there's not a lot of activity. And I actually commented, "Listen, this is where I get my mats. They're fourfold, is the absolute best. The company's called House of Thailand. I included a link down below because I want House of Thailand to sponsor me and give me Thai massage mats because I constantly send them traffic because when people ask, it's one of the things I can't provide. I can't get, good solid mats myself.
Yeah.
So I get them from that specific company, but it's a way of like networking with, in your case, an herb company or a dispensary or a magazine to be able to garner more exposure as a massage therapist. Because basically you become the relative expert on like anything related to herb and massage together.
Yeah, I mean, what's the best way to become successful is to be innovative, right?
Yeah.
I don't know any massage therapists associated to the cannabis industry, not a single one. I've never even heard of that being a real thing. I've heard as far as the idea of doing it, and then I know that it's in practice, but it's not like a huge thing. And I don't know any specific massage therapists who are associated to the industry at all.
I mean, it makes me think of tons of ideas for videos. Like imagine setting up a camera at a dispensary. Like people get stoned or whatever it is they're doing at the dispensary. You give them a 15-minute chair massage, ask them how they feel, talk with them. It's like, to me that's like a win-win because if the dispensary isn't paying for your service, the clients are paying for the service. But if you had a choice between going to a dispensary and getting great herb and going to a dispensary and getting great herb and a chair massage, I'm like, I kind of like that one.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of these people coming to dispensaries are specifically coming for pain relief. Yeah. And they're specifically coming to receive treatment for something. And what's if I'm working in pain relief and trying to work with people in chronic pain, what's the next best thing to going to a hospital? Yeah. Going to a facility where people are specifically going to buy something for pain relief.
Wow. It made me wonder for a second. I don't know if the yoga community has picked up on ganja-related stuff, but are they doing like stoned yoga classes or like...
all right, the closest thing I've seen to that is an advertisement for stoned art class.
Stoned art class, okay.
It was great. I saw
Let's get stoned and make art.
Day. It was just
it's like finger painting.
It was a little tiny little picket fence on the side of the road, and I was driving, I saw it at red light, I stopped and took a picture of it. Stoned art class is awesome.
Yeah, like I'm wondering about body awareness for people who smoke ganja or consume it in whatever form. and like how it affects their sense of, because we talk about pain, and then people who do yoga talk about, you know, experiencing pain relief. I have experience with yoga that way. So I really wonder, are there yoga studios who are focusing on like, do they have a class at 420 where people toke up before yoga class as like a, you know?
So I would say probably not advertised. If
Not
there
advertised?
is,
Huh.
because the thing is I don't know if you can go to a facility, give them money, and then I don't know if they're allowed to let you smoke pot there if you give them money.
Oh, okay. Because you have to. So it's like alcohol. You have to drink it at a bar.
Yeah,
or
exactly,
at home.
exactly.
So you can't. Okay, see, that's confusing to me. Like I forget. Like for whatever reason, I'm like, because herb is illegal in Texas. I assume people are just walking down the street in Denver smoking a bowl. Like I guess they're not for the most part.
No,
or
it's
like drunken in public, right?
They treat
Like
most of the
okay.
laws about cannabis like alcohol.
Yeah.
So like you can't go to a bar and smoke pot.
Yeah.
And a bar can't set up to specifically allow people to smoke pot there. What they do to get around that is they will start a membership club, and they'll start like a club for people, and they have to sign up for a monthly membership, and then at that point, because then they're in a private facility, then they can smoke pot or eat pot or whatever.
Yeah.
But you have to specifically sign up with a club to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because then you're paying for the club membership. You're not paying to smoke pot there. That's just something you happen to be able to do there.
Okay. Yeah, just different rules. Like it's just stuff I've never thought about again because we're in such a different legal environment here in Texas. Huh. Did you have anything else to say about that?